I just put the 3 most powerful AIs on the planet in a head-to-head coding battle. But at the end of the video, only one can be crowned the winner. So watch to the end and I'll show you all the prompts I use and all of these insane results. What's up everyone, this is Ben with God of Prompt. Just look at this website I built in 30 seconds using Google's newest AI model, Gemini 3.0. But hold on to your prompts because OpenAI just released GPT 5.1 and XAI dropped Grok 4.1 at exactly the same time. And I've always struggled with just picking one AI tool and sticking with it, so this showdown could affect how I interact with AI forever. Remember to copy all the prompts in this video by pausing it and copying, and use the thinking models for all of these tests. First test is a gravity simulation and a coding challenge. Should show a realistic bouncing ball. Starting with Gemini 3.0, we have a very bouncy ball. It even lets us click and bounce and boost the ball up and reset the ball in the middle as well. And it's very, very bouncy and interactive. Here's GPT 5.1. It is indeed a ball with gravity, but it's a little more boring, and the wall friction is very strange. It's very high friction. Here's Grok 4.1, and yes, it's sort of a realistic physics interpretation. You know, it's saying here's the rate of gravity, and it has friction and energy loss on bounce. It's a boring translation of the requirements into reality. Google Gemini 3.0 gets the point. If you like these kinds of videos, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our new AI battles, and while you're at it, check out any of our free digital products in the description. Starting with Gemini 3.0's response, the physics are really, flashy and interactive, and after a while they start getting into this hypnotizing rhythm. GPT 5.1, let's refresh to see how it looks when you first start. It's okay, it technically works, but again, the friction is really high and just strange on the walls there. Let's try Grok, and has that interesting, trailing effect there. But again, maybe this is realistic friction and gravity, but it's just not very interesting to look at, is it? I gotta give the point again to Gemini 3.0. Next is a logic puzzle, and see if you can figure this one out first. You have 3 boxes. One contains only apples, one only oranges, and one a mix of both. Each is incorrectly labeled. By picking one fruit from one box, determine how to correctly label all boxes. Did you catch it? Because all 3 AIs certainly did. The key fact is here. Each is incorrectly labeled. That means every label is wrong. Therefore, the box labeled mixed cannot actually be mixed and must contain only apples or only oranges. And all 3 AI nailed this. You pick a fruit from the box labeled mixed, then you can basically deduce the rest. Point goes to all 3 tools. For our 4th test, we asked each AI simulate a simplified solar system. Each planet should have different orbital speeds. Here's what we've got for Gemini 3.0. Looks like it had some stars, but they kind of fade out quickly. Other than that though, looks good. GPT 5.1, very interesting style, stylistically. Here's Grok 4.1. It does this weird trailing effect, which makes the text kind of hard to read when they're moving fast enough. And the circles are all, messed up, not really centered or aligned. I'm gonna give a point both to Gemini 3.0 and to GPT 5.1. Which means right now we have Gemini 3.0 Pro leading at 4 points, GPT 5.1 at 2, and Grok 4.1 trailing at 1. Next, we're going to test the writing style of each of these models. So AI has a tendency to write really robotic sounding text, so what I'm going to be looking for is for more human and natural sounding text. That is the one I'm going to give the point to, starting with Gemini. So, AI is everywhere now. Let's talk about it. Let's be real for a second. A few years ago, when we talked about artificial intelligence, we were mostly picturing T-800s with Austrian accents, or maybe that helpful but creepy robot from iRobot. We expected a sci-fi revolution. Instead, what we got was a really smart autocomplete. And honestly, it's kind of better this way. So this is a big AI giveaway phrase for me, and honestly, you'll see this a lot on like Reddit posts where they're just copy and pasting from AI. And it does kind of have this corny like tone where it's like, before I opened my eyes, AI was running the show. My phone optimized its charging cycle to save battery. Thanks, neural engines. It's like just this weird kind of cringe tone. Let's see if GPT 5.1 does any better. AI is that roommate who moved in quietly and now somehow runs the whole house. You use it before you even finish your first coffee. Your phone sorts photos by dog, beach, and regrettable haircut without asking. Your email drafts replies like, sure, let's circle back next week. It's just this, again, this terrible and corny sense of humor. And I am an expert in corny senses of humor. Grok 4.1, coming in hot with, okay, real talk. Oh god, I hate that. I hate that so much. Yeah, all of these read like the copy and paste LinkedIn threads, Reddit threads, Twitter threads. Even Grok does this like dumb sense of humor too. That speaker knows my angry chopping onions playlist better than my own mother knows my coffee order. Just like, lame, dude. Lame. I don't even care. None of them get the point. Test number 6, let's simulate a realistic water ripple effect. Here's Gemini 3.0. It says click or drag to create ripples, and that is looking pretty good to me. Here's GPT 5.1. Wow, a really interesting effect there. And you can see that the ripples are like diminishing, but they don't appear to go all the way away. And they have eventually cleared up here. Now into Grok 4.1. Does not appear to be working. Alright, so in true vibe coding fashion, I asked Grok, it doesn't do anything, try again. And now we have this absolutely insane looking simulation from Grok. I mean, it's really cool, but it's just kind of like, it's kind of creepy almost how the static fully engulfs the page. Like, oh my god. I'm gonna give GPT 5.1 and Google Gemini the point here. And just look at this next one, I mean, this is insane. For test number 7, we asked for a simulation of a satellite system. Gemini 3.0 looking pretty neat, capturing the packets here. GPT 5.1 here, interesting. Here's Grok 4.1, very interesting animation style. And then it lets me like take out the the ground stations for one iteration, which is interesting. If I had to choose one winner here, I think I would choose Gemini's once again, just because this transmission log is just so clear, you know, what's happening. And it's just, it makes this visual so much more intuitive to understand. I also feel like it's more realistic with this active uplinks part, that it only activates once the satellite is near. These other ones kind of assume that all of the ground nodes are going to be active at the same time, which I don't really know how satellites work, but this seems like the more realistic option. Alright, and so that means another point goes to Google Gemini. Guys, only 3 more tests to go. So for test number 8, we're asking for a JavaScript animation of a double or triple pendulum system. Starting with Gemini, I mean, it's again just like kind of stunning visually. It's really fast, but it gives all these options to change everything, which is interesting. There we go, the gravity kind of impacts the speed there. Here is ChatGPT's version. Very good result, very nice and smooth, clearly demonstrating the principle here. Here is Grok's attempt, which I guess is in the slow motion here. Wow, that is hilarious. Yeah, didn't provide any controls here, and it's not very practical. I'm gonna give the point to Gemini and ChatGPT for this. So here's what the score is looking like so far. Next, we're asking for a rotating 3D wireframe cube. This one proving a bit harder for the AI. Gemini struggling to provide anything I can really see here. GPT 5.1, they pretty much nailed it, right? Just using 2D objects, creating the illusion of a 3D object. Grok 4.1, better than Gemini, but not as good as ChatGPT for sure. Like the master prompt engineer I am, I'm gonna give Gemini another shot and say, you know, it doesn't really work, can you try again? Okay, so Gemini nailed it on the second try. Can we get Grok to nail it on the second try instead of this, just by telling it, hey, it's not working? Well, I tried that, and here's what we got. So, yeah, better, but it still has this weird glowy effect. It's kind of hard to see. You know what? Since ChatGPT was the only one to one-shot this, I'm going to give the point to GPT 5.1. For our 10th and final test, we're going to try to one-shot websites just like these. And here's the prompt we're going to use for this test, our final test. So be sure to pause the video, screenshot this, throw it into ChatGPT and say transcribe to text. So you can use the same exact prompt. So here's the first part. We're going to scroll down to the second part. Take another screenshot like so. When you're using this, be sure to enter the purpose of the prompt here. You can also mess with the different styles. So instead of a maximalist aesthetic, you can change that. So I decided to make fake websites about my totally real. Sites about my totally real company, Ben's Bikes. Gemini 3.0's result, very cool. Scroll down here. Here's the different models of the bikes. So yeah, very cool aesthetic here from Gemini. So this is around 600 lines of code. GPT 5.1 wrote 1,300 lines of code. And let's have a nice scroll down here to see how this thing looks visually. I mean, it looks amazing, if I'm being honest. It's really interesting. Now here's Grok 4.1 with only 200 lines of code. Let's see what we got here. Our different models of bikes. Here's where our store is, our reviews. Yeah, I mean, it definitely fulfilled the requirements. But the thing Gemini really excels at is the way it makes these like interactive backgrounds. So neither Grok nor GPT have that much of an interactive vibe. So this is just what it is, okay? The numbers speak for themselves, guys. And that means Google Gemini 3.0 Pro is the winner. By a long shot. I mean, we just completely left Grok 4.1 in the dust. I mean, I'm completely shocked at this result. This is making me rethink, what tool I'm going to use on a daily basis. I probably will start using Gemini more and more. But that's just my 2 cents. So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.